Let's be real. Every single project you manage, no matter how buttoned up it is basically walking a tightrope. And down below, there are all these hidden dangers. Some are just little annoyances, but others, they can be total project killers. So in the next few minutes, we're going to give you the toolkit you need to not just spot those risks, but to know exactly which ones need your attention first.
So, I've got a question for you. Just think about the project you're working on right now. What's its single biggest threat? Is it something technical, a budget thing, or, and this is the interesting part, is it something that hasn't even crossed your mind yet? Well, that's exactly what we're here to figure out.
Okay, before we go hunting for these risks, let's get on the same page about what we're even looking for. Now, the official definition is an uncertain event that has a positive or negative effect. But let's just cut to the chase. The most important word in that whole sentence is uncertain. We're not planning for things we know are going to happen. We're getting ready for all the what-ifs that can either make our project a success or, a total disaster.
Right, so step one is just finding these potential problems. You can't fight an enemy you can't even see, right? We need a system, a way to shine a light on these risks before they get a chance to mess everything up. And here's the good news. This isn't super complicated. Our toolkit really boils down to two main strategies. First, we're going to look backward, using checklists to learn from projects that have come before. And second, we're going to look around, using brainstorming to tap into the brain power of the team you have right now. Let's talk about checklists first. This is all about not having to reinvent the wheel every single time. A checklist is basically a greatest hits of things that have gone wrong on similar projects in the past. It's a fantastic starting point. It lets everyone involved just quickly scan through and see what known traps might be waiting for them. And here's what makes a really great checklist so powerful. It doesn't just point out the problems, it actually gives you potential solutions. So you might see a classic risk like late changes to requirements. A good checklist won't just flag that. It'll suggest a fix, like using stringent change control. So it's like getting a diagnosis and a prescription all at once. Pretty neat, huh? All right, on to our second tool, brainstorming. Now, if checklists are about learning from history, brainstorming is all about predicting the future with your team. Once you've got a draft of your project plan, you get everyone in a room, and this is where the magic happens. Your engineer might see a technical hurdle nobody else would, while your designer sees a potential user experience pitfall. It's how you uncover the risks that are totally unique to this project with this specific group of people. Okay, so you've done the hard work. Your checklist is all marked up, the whiteboard is covered in sticky notes, and you're staring at a list of, say, 50 different things that could go wrong. It's both great and kind of terrifying, because you can't fix everything at once. So the real question is, where in the world do you start?
This is the moment we switch from just listing things to actually prioritizing them. And our first method is all about taking that gut feeling, that little voice in your head that says, ooh, this one feels bad, and turning it into a cold, hard number. It's time to bring some logic to the table.
And the formula is surprisingly simple. It's called risk exposure. And all it is the potential damage of a risk multiplied by the probability that it will actually happen. That one little calculation is the key to separating the minor headaches from the major project killers.
Let's look at how this plays out. In this table, we've rated both the likelihood and the impact of each risk, maybe on a scale of 1 to 10. Check out risk R1, changes to requirements. It's got a high likelihood and a high impact. Both are an 8. You multiply those, you get a big fat risk score of 64. Now compare that to R5 at the bottom. Module coding takes too long. That only scores a 20. All of a sudden, your priorities just snap into focus. It's crystal clear.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's all about focus. Instead of being overwhelmed by this massive to-do list, you just sort it by the risk exposure score. The highest numbers float to the top, and that's where you point your team's energy. Simple as that. But hey, maybe you're more of a visual person. Numbers on a spreadsheet are fine, but sometimes a picture just tells a better story. And that brings us to our second prioritization tool, the impact matrix. This gives you an instant, at-a-glance map of your entire risk landscape.
With this method, we ditch the 1 to 10 scale and use simple, everyday words instead. We just ask, is the probability high, significant, or low? And we do the same thing for its impact. These easy labels are what we're going to use to build our visual map.
And here is where it all comes together beautifully. This is the probability impact matrix. We've plotted each risk based on those simple labels. And what do you see almost immediately? Risk R1, our big scary one, lands right up there in the top right corner.
It's like a giant visual alarm bell going off saying, danger!
The real power of this tool is just how fast it is. You don't have to sort a spreadsheet or read down a list. Your eyes are just immediately drawn to that top right corner. You instantly know those are the big ones. That is the quickest way to show your entire team what really matters.
So let's just quickly recap. We went from the complete chaos of not knowing what might go wrong to having a clear, actionable plan. It's a two-step dance. First, you find the risks using checklists and brainstorming. Second, you prioritize them using either the hard numbers of a risk exposure score or the visual clarity of an impact matrix. And just like that, you've turned uncertainty into a plan.
And that really brings us to the final question. And this one is for you. Now that you have the tools to see your project's risks laid out in plain sight, whether it's on a list or on a matrix, which one are you going to go after first?